especially if you're a woman, please watch this video and then tell your family, your sisters, your aunt, shit, even tell the male people in your life, because at this point, they're taking anybody. Road. This is the employees. This is women's, men's exit, okay? Whatever this is, private, okay? Notice how all these doors are empty except for the women's. What is this? And why can it be unlocked and locked? Is someone in there? I don't know, because I've knocked and I don't know.
So I heard about this gas station lock thing a few weeks ago, like most of you. And if you haven't, my name is Samantha, and let me tell you what's going on in Texas around the A&M College. There is an Exxon Mobil gas station with this weird automatic, like remote triggered lock. And now this is an industrial lock, folks. This isn't like, you know, slide key lock like we get on the inside of the bathroom stalls. No, this is a double-barreled industrial lock that will trap you in the bathroom.
So when you close the door, it locks you in from the outside. You have no way of getting out. And it's not on the men's.
And yes, the man standing there laughing is an employee at this gas station.
Tell me that's not fucking weird. That's weird. That's weird. On the men's. Only on the women's. Not on the men's.
And yes, that is him laughing as she's pointing out it's only on the women's, not on the men's.
Oh, man. They're trying to steal women. Trying to get them.
Speaking of women, I am a women-owned business and YouTube stole my money. So if you'd like to support more videos like this, bringing truth and awareness to our country, look at the top of comments. Please like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating even $1 so I can continue doing this. So out of curiosity, I Googled missing people around Texas A&M, and I was shocked at how many students are listed as missing since 2001. You should check it out on your own. That's not what this video is about. This video is particularly about women's safety in bathrooms and the human trafficking going on in Texas right now.
But placed the phone call to the Bryan Police Department this morning. Pretty quickly, within the hour, I would even argue it was probably less than 30 minutes, the police officer called me, who was dispatched, and told me that the manager of the gas station said that the lock was placed there to prevent that there's a large group of Hispanic men that come in there during lunch and destroy the women's restroom.
Like it or not, I worked at McDonald's from the age of 15 until I was 23. And this is back in the 90s to 2000. And whenever large groups of, like, the buses would come in with Hispanic people, they did destroy the bathrooms. And let me tell you what they did. They did not flush toilet paper. When you go to number 2, you take a bowel movement, they don't flush the toilet paper. They put it in the trash can and it overflows all over the floor. All this wiped your bottom. And the reason they don't flush it is that the sewage in Mexico is very different than America, and they were unaware that toilet paper would actually flush here. And facts, folks. I tell you all the time, perspective is everything. Most of you probably have never heard that, but that is why a lot of people get antsy when they see large groups of Hispanics coming in that have just gotten to America, because they are not going to flush the toilet paper.
So they placed that lock there to keep them out. Here's the problem. You can unlock it from the outside. So if the Hispanic man wanted to go into the bathroom, he would simply reach up, turn the knob, and still go into the bathroom. If that's truly the purpose, why isn't it on the inside of the restroom where you have the remote control and could lock it, and then they could not get into the bathroom? So their reasoning, it does not make sense. It does not make sense, because if that was the reason, it would be on the inside of the door. The police officer actually agreed with me that it was sketchy and weird, and that the explanation didn't really make sense. But he did say, this is my first time ever dealing with something like this, and unfortunately there's nothing that I can do.
Which goes back to the video I did recently about all the police officers that had supposedly committed suicide that worked within the Houston area. You know, in that video, I talked about what these police officers deal with every time they go in. Human trafficking, child trafficking, drug trafficking, sex trafficking. And then I found this story and I'm like, Texas is just not the place to be right now. But my thing is this. I don't think it's just in Texas. I just think it was caught in Texas. Now, the thing about this story that caught my attention was that it's obviously a foreign-owned gas station. And when she was talking to the employees there, they were, and this is in the newspaper, very rude to her. Like, they were angry. They were doing this like they're watching her. They did not want this to go public. They did not want her to film it. Why? Now, I do want to make sure you guys understand that that lock was removed. And let me tell you how they did it. The cop at first was like, I've never had anything like this. There's nothing I can do. However, after speaking to some colleagues, he realized that that is actually a fire hazard. You cannot have a lock, a remote lock, folks, on the outside of a bathroom that could potentially trap people inside the bathroom with no other exit in case of a fire. He was able to go back. They had to remove the lock.
Simply unlock it and go in anyways. If they were trying to keep people out, the lock should have been on the other side of the door. However, the police officer said he can't really tell people where they can and can't put locks. Personally, he agreed with me, but professionally his hands were tied. And then he called me back really shortly after that to let me know that while we were on the phone, dispatch was sending him messages. So when he hung up, he read them. And somebody called the fire marshal. So shout out and thank you so much to whoever called the fire marshal. The fire marshal went into the store and did force them to remove that lock. So hallelujah. High five to everybody who took this seriously, spread awareness. I still would be really careful at this gas station location. Avoid it if you can. I do think that the manager and the people that work there have bad intentions because, again, like, gut feelings usually are never wrong. And something wasn't right. Something wasn't right. But the lock is gone. So please still just be careful, be vigilant, stay safe, be kind.
So my point in making this video is, please, ladies, especially ladies, but men, you guys also, especially you young guys, keep your head on a swivel. If you are alone and going inside to use a public restroom, check for cameras, check to make sure there is a lock on the inside of the door so you can protect yourself at your most vulnerable. Also, check to make sure there's not a lock on the exterior of the door. Second, if you are traveling and you are unfamiliar with an area, especially if you're traveling alone, do not stop in an area that is not lit very well, that there's not a lot of people there. Make sure you park your vehicle up front and center so it's caught on camera that you pulled up to the front doors in case you don't come back out, love. Avoid going into rest areas unless it says security on staff at night. Let me tell you something. You are better off pulling over, even on the side of the interstate, stepping to the edge of your car and using the restroom than pulling off into some of these gas stations in America right now, folks. Know where you're at. Google the route you're going to take. Let's make sure your family and friends know where you're going, when you are expected to be there, what route are you intending to take. And if you decide, for the love of God, to go the scenic route, let somebody know, folks. The day and age that you could just disappear for a few days and it was going to be fine are over. Especially in this country where there are 30 million people, we don't know who they are. Use your brains. Seriously, you young people think this is some kind of joke, but it's not. Make sure that you have tracking turned on with your phone. Allow someone that you trust to know where you're going, when you're supposed to be back. Guys, look. If I leave my yard without my husband, That's in my vehicle with me, trained for home protection, personal protection. He's in the vehicle along with Mama's 2A rights. There is nothing wrong with protecting yourself. Okay? Tell him, Hammer. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all protecting yourself. Or better yet, allowing something that loves you to protect you. So like, comment, subscribe. Send $1. Let me know that you really appreciate this video because this one should go viral. Love you guys.